In this video, we're going to learn how to set up SSH tunneling, or another term for it is port forwarding. This will allow us to send programs that are running on our Raspberry Pi to our Chromebook so that we can work with them within our Chrome browser. So let's go ahead and open up our Chrome browser. We're going to open up our Secure Shell extension. We're going to click on Connection Dialog, and this time we're going to add some other information to this window here. So far we've been logging in just by using our username, @ and then our Raspberry Pi's internal IP address. We can also add command line arguments. And that's what we're going to add right here where it says SSH arguments. In fact, you saw some of them. I just erased them from my last session. So we're going to, you have a couple of options here. You can send in many different SSH arguments. We're going to do one that is going to forward ports from our Raspberry Pi to our Chromebook. Okay, so the arguments that we're going to send in, we're going to start off with -L, and that stands for local port forwarding, and then we're going to select the port that we want to use on our Chromebook. So we'll make that the same as the application that we're going to pull from a Raspberry Pi. The first one we're going to do is 8080. Then we're going to put a colon and then the local host IP address, which is always 127.0.0.1. And then the port that our program is going to be running on the Raspberry Pi, which is 8080. So you'll remember in the last video, we allowed for the following port to be open, 8080, and it's going to serve our code server software, which we'll install in the next lesson. We actually want to forward 2 ports. This is one of them, so we can forward as many ports as we'd like to. So I'm just going to put a space and then a hyphen and then another local port forwarding. We are going to connect port 8000 on this Chromebook to 127.0.0.1, which is the local IP address of our Raspberry Pi, and we're going to grab port 8000 off of that. Okay, so once we have those SSH arguments in, we can go ahead and connect to our Raspberry Pi. And we're done. We won't be able to see the effects of this until we install Code Server, which we will do in the next video. So to sum up, all we did is we added some command line arguments, SSH arguments, that allow us to forward specific programs on our Raspberry Pi to our Chromebook so that we can work with them within our web browser. It allows us some other ways to communicate with our Raspberry Pi. Up until this point, we've been using the secure shell. We've been typing in command line arguments, which is very powerful, and we'll be doing that throughout the course, but we also want to be able to interact with our Pi in other ways, and by doing port forwarding, that allows us to do that. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video.